Hey friends, how you doing? It's your boy Charles, and today I want to try something new. Wrestle Ramble, where I just ramble about professional wrestling. It could be a show that I've watched, or a particular match I've seen on YouTube. I'll give you my thoughts on it, and refer you to it. Now tonight I just finished watching April 2nd's uh, AEW Dynamite. And I want to talk about just the first match in this. It was an intergender tag team match, tornado tag team rules, meaning that there's no tags in or out. But the big difference is when other big companies have done intergender tag team matches, it has been strictly female versus female, male versus male. When one gets tagged in, the person on the other end has to tag in the person of the appropriate gender. Tonight, with the tornado tag rules, I wondered how they were going to do that. Now, for this video alone, I'm going to talk not just as a fan, but talk a little bit behind the curtain. In the past, when you have these, when if the man gets in the ring with the woman, it's usually a bad guy or a heel, being menacing to the good guy or babyface female, and it's a way to get them boos and to get what they call heat on the bad guy. But there's never any physicality because a lot of the major companies used to really fear losing advertisers over portrayals of violence, even simulated male versus female. But we live in a time right now where there is more professional wrestling available to watch than ever. And you have the people that are employed by AEW who have contracts to where they can work for independent companies. And you have people like Willow Nightingale, who was teaming with Swerve Strickland, working independents. Marina Shafir, who was tagging with John Moxley. Tonight, she works for his promotion. I forgot the name of it. What is the name of that promotion? I cannot. Oh, Pro Wrestling Revolver. It's a promotion he runs with Sammy Callahan. But both of these women have faced, went toe to toe with, and beaten male wrestlers on independent shows, and we've all seen it. And so, if you're gonna have that those rules, there's a certain amount of Chekhov's gun that applies. Being that if there's a gun introduced into the first scene, you have to pull it. And what I mean by that is if you're going to take away the traditional intergender tag team rules, there has to be intergender violence. And they teased it the whole match, and the finish I thought was clever, where Swerve was going to go for his house call finishing move, which is a kick, to John Moxley, and Marina Shafir knocked John Moxley out of the way and ended up accidentally getting kicked. And while she was out, Swerve Strickland, he didn't take advantage. He feigned shock and disbelief at first, but then kind of had a smile, looked over at Willow Nightingale, gave her the cue to hit her finishing move. 1, 2, 3. Marina Shafir takes the pin, and that was that. And then immediately after the match, while they're celebrating, John Moxley sneaks into the ring, hits Willow Nightingale with a DDT, and runs off. Now, the way that these two events were treated, I thought were the first time it was very good. The second time it wasn't. What I mean by is when Marina Shafir took that kick for John Moxley, this is a character who has been for months now terrorizing male wrestlers with no retort whatsoever. She's choked men out. She's attacked them with a briefcase. She has done all this and has received no comeuppance from it. And so when she stepped in front of that kick that was meant for John Moxley, it was like, okay, the bad guy is finally getting what's coming to her. And I thought that that was appropriate storytelling. She's a larger female as far as muscularity goes, with a legit background in mixed martial arts. And so I thought, all is well, all is fair. But then when Willow Nightingale got hit with the DDT, they treated it as if she was in a car accident. And the whole night was spent, with her being checked on in the background, and is she gonna be okay? And the fact of the matter is Willow Nightingale has taken thousands of DDTs and has gotten up every time. Um, you have people like Megan Bain, who is now on the roster. She wrestles men all the time for GCW in hardcore matches. If Willow can survive Megan Bain, she can survive John Moxley. And so I think that is a little bit, what's the word? Probably patronizing to, in one instance you're empowering females, but in another you have a female used as a plot device. And instead of being empowered, she is the fragile little daisy that got hurt off of a basic wrestling move. And keep in mind, she had physicalities toward John Moxley during the match. And so I thought that point took away from it. And the other point that I thought really took away from the match was during the match, you could tell that there was a certain amount of scripting that really, really threw the wrestling off. They were really trying to make it a point to be deliberate with who was in the ring with who, what happened as far as male-female violence. The females had to be in certain places to have close calls with the males, and all. There were other points where the females committed violence towards men, but then were conveniently pulled out of the way of any recompense. And so I thought that if they would have just made it a free for all and really abided by the rules of the independent scene. What I mean by rules is just the tradition what's going on now, with females and males being equals in the ring. I think that would have made the match a lot better. And I think it's about time, because if you look at AEW's main event scene, two of the strongest performers are in the female divisions. You have Toni Storm and Mercedes Moné, women that have main evented many times. They're two of the biggest draws, merch sellers, you name it. And so I think they're doing a good job with female representation. But I think the final bridge to be crossed when it comes to female representation is being treated equal in the ring. And if you look at the roster, there's no difference from a female getting physicality from a Chris Statlander or a Megan Bain than there would be from an average-sized wrestler. So that's my thought on that first match. Tell me what you guys think about it. And what did you think of April 2nd's 2025's episode of Dynamite? I will see you next time on more Wrestle Ramble. And I will try not to ramble so long in the next video. I'm out.